lingerie. She was not answering the door in this outfit, however. She put her long coat back on over the lingerie, then gave her reflection a critical look. It had been a long time since she had dressed to attract a man. Usually she was more interested in keeping them at a distance. "Not tonight," she said. "Not tonight." She padded downstairs, peering out the window and seeing nothing beyond the truck parked at the small house across the way and a vast stretch of snow, falling harder and faster. Typically, it didn't snow in Copper Ridge, Oregon. You had to drive up to the mountains, as she'd done today, to get any of the white stuff. So for her, this was a treat, albeit a chilly one. But that was perfect, since she planned to get her blood all heated and stuff. She hummed, keeping an eye on the scene outside, waiting for Christopher to pull in. She wondered if she should have brought a condom downstairs with her. Decided that she should have. She went back upstairs, taking them two at a time, grateful that she was by herself, since there was nothing sexy about her ascent. Then she rifled through her bag, found some protection, and curled her fingers around it before heading back down the stairs as quickly as possible. As soon as she entered the living area, the lights flickered, then died. Suddenly, everything in the house seemed unnaturally quiet, and even though it was probably her imagination, she felt the temperature drop several degrees. "Are you kidding me?" she asked into the darkness. There was no answer, nothing but a subtle creak from the house. Maybe it was all that heavy snow on the roof. Maybe it was going to collapse. That would figure. A punishment for her thinking she could be normal and have sex. A shiver worked its way down her spine, and she jolted. Suddenly she had gone from hopeful and buoyant to feeling a bit flat and tragic. That was definitely not the best sign. No, she wasn't doing this. She wasn't sinking into self-pity and tragedy. Been there, done that for 10 years, thank you. Madison didn't believe in signs. So there. She believed in fuses blowing in bad weather when overtaxed heaters had to work too hard in ancient houses. Yes, that she believed in. She also believed that she would have to wait for Christopher to arrive to fix the problem. She sighed and then made her way over to the kitchen counter and grabbed hold of her purse as she deposited the 2 condoms on the counter. She pulled her phone out and grimaced when she saw that she had no signal. Too late, she remembered that she had thought the lack of cell service might be an attraction to a place like this, that it would be nice if both she and Christopher could be cut off from the outside world while they indulged themselves. That notion seemed really freaking stupid right now, since she couldn't use the phone in the house thanks to the outage, and that left her cut off from the outside world all alone. "Oh no," she said. "I'm the first 5 minutes of a crime show. I'm going to get axe-murdered, and I'm going to die a born-again virgin." She scowled, looking back out at the resolutely blank landscape. Christopher still wasn't here, but it looked like the house across the way had power. She pressed her lips together, not happy about the idea of interrupting her neighbor, or of meeting her neighbor, since the whole point of going out of town was so they could remain anonymous and not see people. She tightened the belt on her coat and made her way slowly out the front door, bracing herself against the Arctic wind. She muttered darkly about the cold as she made her way across the space between the houses. She paused for a moment in front of the larger cabin, lit up and looking all warm and toasty. Clearly this was the premium accommodation, while hers was likely beset by rodents that had chewed through relevant cords. She huffed, clutching her coat tightly as she knocked on the door. She waited, bouncing in place to try to keep her blood flowing. She just needed to call Christopher and find out when he would be arriving, and, if he was still a ways out, possibly beg her neighbor for help getting the power going, or at least help getting a fire started. The front door swung open, and Madison's heart stopped. The man standing there was large, so tall that she only just came up to the middle of his chest. He was broad, his shoulders well-muscled, his waist trim. He had the kind of body that came not from working out, but from hard physical labor. Then she looked up. Straight nose, square jaw, short brown hair, and dark eyes that were even...